I've gotten a lot of criticism in recent weeks because I have said I think the Palestinians lost in Gaza. Gaza is gone. Gaza is no more. There's no Gaza anymore. And I said that Israel has been inflating the Hamas resistance in Gaza because it provides the pretext for the genocide. There's no real there can't be Hamas resistance in Gaza. If Israel's dropping the equivalent of atomic bombs on your head every day, how do you resist? It's like talking about resistance to the Americans in Hiroshima on August 6th, when they dropped the bomb. Could there be resistance? Well, Gaza has been atomic bombed every day for a year. And so I said that we should use the paradigm, that means like the model, that it's a genocide, it's not a war. All the human rights organizations have been analyzing Gaza in terms of the laws of war. But there's no war going on in Gaza. The problem is not that Israel is not obeying the laws of war. That's not the problem. The problem is Israel is obeying the logic of genocide. It's very different. And the only ones who correctly grasped that point were the South Africans. Because when they went before the ICJ, they weren't talking about, it's true the ICJ doesn't regulate the laws of war, but the war was completely absent in their application and in their subsequent statements. It came before the court 4 times in January, February, March, and May. They never talked about Hamas. They never talked about whether Israel was being proportionate, whether Israel was being discriminate. Those are the terms of the laws of war. Distinction, you only target combatants. Proportionate, if you want to achieve a military goal, you can't kill too many civilians. And discrimination, that is, you have to discriminate between civilians and combatants. That's the laws of war, okay? They never talked about that. They talked about a genocide in Gaza. So I've been criticized because I said I don't believe the resistance in Gaza is significant. And people said to me, very thoughtful, very smart. They said, you realize, Norman, that one factor in winning and losing a war is morale. And if you keep saying there's no resistance and it's over in Gaza, you are unnecessarily undermining morale. And there I would say there is an argument that maybe I shouldn't be saying these things. So maybe I don't have to lie and say Hamas is winning. You know, some lunatic sectors of the left say that. But on the other hand, I don't have to say I think it's over. There are 45 million tons of rubble in Gaza. About 70% has been pulverized. The estimates are it would take 10 to 15 years to just remove the rubble. And knowing as I do that satanic state of Israel, they're going to do exactly what they did after Operation Cast Lead in 2008-9. they're not going to admit any cement. They're going to say Hamas is going to use the cement to build tunnels, so we're not admitting cement. So there's no possibility of it being rebuilt. But there is, as I said, there are occasions where the commitment to truth might come into clash with another principle, and here the principle of sustaining morale in the face of this horror that has unfolded in Gaza. And I've taken the criticism to heart, but I'm doing right now what I did before. I can't lie and say I don't think it's over. I can't see it. I mean, I'm reading the facts. So there I think, people have a right to criticize me, and maybe I'm making a mistake here. I admit that. I will admit it. There was a famous correspondent, journalist named Alexander Cockburn, and his father was a very famous journalist who was in Spain during a turning point in modern European history. It was called the Spanish Civil War. And it was the forces of the Republic, the Spanish Republic, who were fighting against the forces of fascism, represented by Franco. And there was an important battle. And Claude Cockburn, who was the father of Alex Cockburn, I knew Alex, his father, Claude Cockburn, very famous journalist, he started to write back dispatches saying the Republic is winning, when they weren't, they were losing. And everyone attacked Claude Cockburn. He was a liar. He lied about what was happening. And Alex wrote, "It was the proudest moment in my father's life that he lied for Spain." And that to me has always been, I remember that very vividly. It's always been a conflict in me.